तव कथामृतम् तप्त जीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ओम तव कथामृतं तप्त जीवनम् कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमंगलम श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and today we have to start chapter 46, The Master and Dr. Sarkar, Friday, October 23, 1885. It was the day of full moon, following the Durga Puja. The worship of the Divine Mother, Durga Puja, the worship of the Divine Mother. At 10 o'clock in the morning, Sri Ramakrishna was talking to him, who was helping him with his socks. So Sri Ramakrishna, because of the cold, was putting on socks, and Master Mashay was helping him in that regard. Let me add to our, then only we can work. Wi-Fi has to go. No, it's all right. No, it will not go. Master, smiling. What else? Why can't I cut my woolen scarf into 2 pieces and wrap them around my legs like the socks? They will be nice and warm. So he is talking like a child at that point. M smiled. The previous evening, Sri Ramakrishna had a long conversation with Dr. Sarkar. Referring to it, the master said laughingly, I told him the story of the calf and about egotism being the cause of all suffering. The younger Naren reminded Sri Ramakrishna that he, the master, had told the doctor about people suffering from the threefold misery of the world and still bragging of their well-being. Young Naren has got the point. The disciple said, that was a very nice thing you said yesterday about the thorn, and also thorn which the camel, one thorn and other thorn, and also about burning it in the fire of knowledge. Master, I had direct visions of those things. One day I was passing back of the Kutir when my whole body burnt into flames. Kutir is that mansion where Rani Rasmani and Mathura used to stay in their visit to the garden, and Thakur also stayed there for a long time. I had direct vision of these things. One day I was passing back of the Kutir when my whole body burst into flames, as it were, like the fire in a homa. Padmalochan once said to me, I shall convene an assembly of Pandits and proclaim your spiritual experiences before all. But he died shortly after that. So Thakur is accepting that he is incarnation. At 11 o'clock, M went to Dr. Sarkar's house to report Sri Ramakrishna's condition. The doctor showed great eagerness to hear about him. Doctor, laughing, how well I told him yesterday that in order to be able to say, tu, thou, one must fall into the hands of an expert gardener. It is true, sir. One cannot get rid of egotism without the help of a capable teacher. That is how we are taken it. How well he spoke last night of bhakti. Bhakti, like a woman, can go into the inner thought. Doctor, yes, that is very nice. But still one cannot give up jnana. That is his point always. M, that he does not. But he does not say that. He accepts both knowledge and love, the impersonal truth and the personal God. He says that through the cooling influence of bhakti, a part of the reality takes the solid form of personal God, and with the rise of the sun of jnana, the eyes of form melts again into the formless water of the Absolute. In other words, you realize God with form through Bhakti Yoga and the formless Absolute through Jnana Yoga. Much has understood more correctly. You must have noticed that he sees God so near him, that he always converses with him. When suffering from illness, he says to God like a small child, "Oh mother, it is hurting me." How wonderful is power of observation. He saw a fossil in the museum. At once he gave it as an example of the effect of companionship with holy persons. Just as an object is turned into stone by remaining near stone, so does a man become holy by living with a holy man. Doctor, yesterday Ishan Babu talked of incarnation of God. What is that? To call man God? There he struck up. M. Everyone has his own faith. What is the use of interfering with it? Doctor. Yes, what is the use? M. How the master made us laugh when he told us about a certain man who refused to believe that a house had collapsed because it was not published in the newspaper. So Master is hit on Dr. Sarkar at this point that because it is not told in your science, so you are not accepting that. Dr. Sarkar remained silent. Sri Ramakrishna had said to him, your science does not speak of God's incarnation. Therefore you say that God cannot incarnate himself as man. It was midday. Dr. Sarkar took M with him in his carriage. He was going to visit Sri Ramakrishna after seeing his other patients. A few days before, at Dirish's invitation, Dr. Sarkar had seen his play about Buddha's life. He said to him, it would have been better to speak of Buddha as the incarnation of compassion, instead of the incarnation of God. Why did he speak of him as the incarnation of Vishnu? That is still hankering in his mind. The doctor set him down at the corner of Cornwallis Street, Cornwallis Square. Those who know Calcutta, within Calcutta can identify it immediately. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. 1 or 2 devotees were seated near Sri Ramakrishna. He became impatient like a child. He repeatedly asked the devotees, when is the doctor coming? What time is it now? Dr. Sarkar was expected in the evening. He left Master Mahasaya nearer to Sri Ramakrishna's place, and he, after visiting some other patients, would come there. Suddenly, Sri Ramakrishna was overwhelmed with a strange mood. He placed his pillow on his lap. Filled with maternal love, he began to caress it and hold it to his breast as if it were a child. He has got the mother's attitude, but there is no object like a child there. So he is showing it in the pillow. He was in an ecstatic mood. His face was lighted with a childlike smile. He put on his clothes in a strange manner. The devotees looked at him in amazement. Strange manner? What manner? Acrocom Korea. Balakirne Hashitechan Acrocom Korea. How was it? How was it? Showing the breast. We have not been able to imagine what type. He was feeling like mother in me. A little later, Sri Ramakrishna was in his normal mood. It was time for his meal. He ate a little boiled farina. I was talking to him about his mystic experiences. Master to him aside, do you know what I saw just now in my ecstatic mood state? There was a meadow covering an area of 7 or 8 miles, through which lay the road to Shihod. Shihod is the Vivekananda's place. I was alone in that meadow. I saw a 16-year-old Paramahansa boy exactly like the one I had seen in the Panchavati. That has come out from his own body. A mist of bliss lay all around. One of it emerged, a boy 13 or 14 years old. Out of it emerged a boy 13 or 14 years old. I saw his face. He looked like Purna. He looked like Purna. Paramahansa. Both of us were naked. He saw himself as naked. He saw Purna as naked. Then we began to run around joyfully in the meadow. Purna felt thirsty. He drank some water from a tumbler and offered me what was left. I told him, brother, I cannot take your leavings. Therefore he laughed, washed the glass and brought me fresh water. These are all mystic experiences. Purna is like his friend or like his parama. Again, why? Today is a little strange. I put both sides. Sri Ramakrishna was again in Samadhi. He regained consciousness and began to talk to him. Master, my mind is undergoing a change. I cannot take prasad anymore. That is, he is going towards Nirakar. The real and the appearance are becoming one to me. Do you know what I saw just now? A divine form, a vision of the Divine Mother. She had a child in her womb. She gave birth to it, and the next instant began to swallow it. That he had seen about Maya. And as much as it went into her mouth, became void. It was revealed to me that everything is void. The Divine Mother said to me, as it were, come confusion, come delusion, come. That means all is our Maya. This reminded him of Sri Ramakrishna saying that the magician alone is real and all else unreal. Master, well, how is it that the other time I tried to attract Purna but failed? This weakens my faith a little. Yeah. But to attract a person is to work a miracle. So you did not do it. Master, yes, a downright miracle. Yeah. You remember one day we were returning to Dakshineshwar in a carriage from others' house when a bottle broke. One of us said to you, does this mean that any harm will befall us? What do you think? You said, what do I care? Why should I bother about it? That would be miracle working. Why this broken, that was broke? That. Master, yes, people lay ailing children down on the ground where men chant the name of God in order that they may be cured. Oh, so many types of miracles are expected. Or people cure disease through occult powers. Or this is miracle working. Only those whose spiritual experience is extremely shallow call on God for the healing of disease. So this is called very shallow spirituality. You believe in God, but you want all physical things from Him. It is going and coming. Let me find out a little to make it permanent. Zero. I think we should discuss. Now it will not go. We are connected to other connections. Okay. Now it was evening. Sri Ramakrishna was seated on his bed, thinking of the Divine Mother and repeating her hallowed name. The devotees sat near him in silence. Latu, Shashi, Sharat, the younger Naren, Paltu, Bhupen, Girish, and others were present. Ram Taran of the Star Theatre had come with Girish to entertain Sri Ramakrishna with his singing. A few minutes later, Dr. Sarkar arrived. Doctor to the master, I was much worried about you last night. At 3 o'clock, it was raining. I said to myself, who knows whether or not the doors and windows of his room are shut. Really, said Sri Ramakrishna. He was much pleased at the doctor's love and thoughtfulness for him. That would work for doctor's spiritual elevation. Master, as long as there is the body, one should take care of it. But I find that the body is quite separate from the self. When a man rids himself entirely of his love for woman and God, then he clearly perceives that the body is one thing and the self another. He sees clearly. When the milk inside the coconut is all dried up, then the kernel becomes separated from the shell. You feel the kernel rattling inside when you shake the coconut. Or, one example, or it is just like a sword and the sheath. The sword is one thing and the sheath is another. So many similes are given when there is no sense of enjoyment or subject-object relation, then the final truth shines. And in the final truth, body is separate, Atman is separate. Therefore, I cannot speak much to the Divine Mother about the illness of the body. Because I am the self. Girish to the devotees. Pandit Shashadhar said to him, meaning the master, please bring your mind to bear on the body during samadhi. That will cure your illness. And he, the master, saw in a vision that the body was nothing but a loose mass of flesh and bones. Master. Well, so today is a lot of recapitulation. So we are just reading. Master, well, all these are explained previously. Master, once a long time ago, I was very ill. I was sitting in the Kali temple. I felt like praying to the Divine Mother to cure my illness, but couldn't do so directly in my own name. I said to her, Mother, Hriday asked me to tell you about my illness. I could not proceed any further. Ah, what beautiful demonstration. Because Hriday said he is conveying, but himself could not proceed. At once, there flashed into my mind the Museum of Asiatic Society and a human skeleton strung together with wire. I said to her, please tighten the wires of my body like that so that I may go about singing your name. Ah, he does not want to have any bodily enjoyment. He just wants to sing her name and glory. For that, somehow or other, maintain the body. I think spirituality to the highest. Go out singing your name and glory. It is impossible for me to ask for occult powers. At first, Hriday asked me, I was then under his control, to pray to the mother for powers. I went to the temple. In a vision, I saw a widow, 30 or 35 years old, covered with filth. Is it a widow? Prostitute, perhaps. Rand. Rand is either a widow or a prostitute. I don't think it is widow here. What will widow add to that ugliness? Covered with filth. It was revealed to me that occult powers are like that filth. I became angry with Hriday because he had asked me to pray for powers. Ram Taran began to sing, that singer from Girish's theatre. Amar ei sader vine यत्ने गाथा तारेर हार ये यत्न जाने बाजाए वीणे उठे सुधा अनिवार ताने माने बांधले तुरी डूबी डूरी ताने माने बांधले डूरी शत धारे वय माधुरी बाजेना अलगा भावे ताने छिड़े कोमलता. It's a little figurative. Behold my Veena, my dearly beloved, my lute of sweetest tone. If tenderly you play on it, the strings will waken at your touch to rarest melodies. Tune it neither low nor high, and from it, in 100 streams, the sweetest sound will flow. But over slack the strings are made mute, and overstretched, they snap in twain. Overslack, the strings are mute, and overstretched, they snap in twain. So correct should be the amount of music. Doctor to Girish, is it an original sound? Girish, no, it is an adaptation from Edwin Arnold's. Edwin Arnold had translated Lalita Vistar as the light of Asia. And from that, Girish had all the ideas for his drama. Ramtaran sang from the play The Life of Buddha. That is wonderful song. Huh? জুড়াইতে চাই কোথায় জুড়াই কোথাও হতে আসি কোথা ভেসে যাই ফিরে ফিরে আসি কত কাঁদি হাসি কোথা যাই সদা ভাবি গোথাই করো হে চেতন কে আছে চেতন কতদিন আর ভাঙিবে বা স্বপন কে আছে চেতন ঘুমাও না আর দারুণ এ ঘোর নিবিড় আন্ধার করো তমন্না শো হে প্রকাশ তোমা বিনে আর নাহি উপায় তব পদে তাই শরণ চাই. This is the most beautiful song from Buddha's life. We mourn for rest, alas, but rest can never find. We know not whence we come, nor where we float away. Time and again we tread this round of smiles and tears. In vain we pine to know whether our pathway leads and why we play this empty play. We sleep, although awake, as if by a spell bewitched. Although awake in the worldly sense, but we are sleeping to our real nature. Will darkness never break into the light of dawn? As restless as the wind, life moves unceasingly. We know not why we are, nor whence it is we come. We know not why we come, nor where it is we go. Drift, sharp was dark forth on every side. How many drift about, now gay, now drowned in tears. One moment they exist, the next they are no more. We know not why we come, nor what our deeds have been, nor in our bygone lives how well we played our parts. Like water in a stream, we cannot stay at rest. Onward we flow forevermore. Burst thou our slumbers bar, O thou that are awake. How long must we remain enmeshed in fruitless dreams? Are you indeed awake? Then do not longer sleep. Think on you lies the gloom fraught with a million woes. Rise, dreamer, from your dream and slumber not again. Shine forth, O shining one, and with thy shafts of light, slay thou the blinding dark. Our only Savior thou, we seek deliverance at thy feet. This was the song Buddha was enjoying dance and music in the company of his wife and young child. And this song, the fairies were singing and passing away over him. That awakened him to the purpose of life. That is the place of the song. As Sri Ramakrishna listened to the song, he went into Samadhi. Ramtaran sang again, blow, storm, rage and roar. When the song was over, Sri Ramakrishna said to the singer, what is this? Why this decoction of bitter neem leaves after the rice pudding? The moment, that means that was an ordinary worldly song. So only one line is given. The moment he sang, shine forth a shining one with the shafts of life, slay thou the blinding dark, I had a vision of the sun. As he arose, the darkness vanished and all men took refuge at his feet. That is the inner content of that song. Ramtaran sang again. Okay. O Mother, Savior of the helpless, thou, the slayer of sin, in thee do the three gunas dwell, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Thou dost create the world, thou dost sustain it and destroy it. binding thyself with attributes, thou yet transcendest them, for thou, O Mother, art the all. Kali, thou art, and Tara, and thou, the ultimate Prakriti. Thou art the fish, the turtle, the boar, and other avatar. Avatars in Hindu faith are 10. Fish, tortoise, boar, then Narasimha, then Parshuram Ram, etc. So that animal parts is describing. Earth, water, air, and fire are thou, 5 elements of matter. And thou the sky, O Mother of the Absolute, O Mother of the Absolute. The Sankhya, Patanjala, Mimamsa, and Nyaya forever seek to fathom thee and know thine inmost nature. The systems of philosophy, Vedanta and Vaisheshika are searching after thee, but none of them has found thee out. Though free of limitations, beginningless and without end, yet for thy loving bhakta's sake, thou wearest various forms. The terrors of this world thou dost remove, and thou dost dwell alike in present, past, and future. Thou dost appear with form to him who loves thee as a person. Thou art the absolute to him who worships formless truth. Some there are who speak alone of the resplendent Brahman. Even this, O blissful mother, is nothing else but thou. Each man, according to his measure, makes his image of the truth, calling it the highest Brahman. Beyond this does Turiya shine, the indescribable, absolutely transcendent self, present through all the world. O Mother of all doing things, who does pervade the universe, every one of these art thou. So all the gross settled puzzle, all the elements and everything is your form. Then he sang, these are given only small in Bengali, so I am not reading it. In English, dear friend, my religion and piety have come to an end. No more can I worship Mother Shama. My mind defies control. Oh, shame upon me, bitter shame. I try to meditate on the mother with sword in hand, wearing her garland of human heads. But it is always the dark one wearing his garland of wild wood flowers. So instead of Shama, Krishna is coming and holding the flute to his tempting lips that shines before my eyes. I think of the mother with her 3 eyes, but alas, I see him alone with the arching eyes and I forget all else. So this is a beautiful Vaishnava song. Oh, shame upon me, bitter shame. I try to offer fragrant flowers at the mother's feet, but the ravishing thought of his graceful form unsettles my helpless mind, and all my meditations meant for the naked one, that is Shama, are drawn away by the sight of his yellow scar. So, tries for Shama goes to Krishna. Sri Krishna was in an ecstatic mood as he listened to the song. The musician sang again. So this song was liked very much. O Mother, who has offered these and hibiscus flowers at thy feet? I beg of thee, O Mother, place me or two upon my head. Place 1 or 2 on my head. Then I shall cry aloud to thee, O Mother, Mother, and I shall dance around thee and clap my hands for joy. And thou wilt look at me and laugh and tie the flowers in my hair. This is a Advaita song from Tantra. The singing was over. Many of the devotees were in a rapturous mood. Songs are really felt beautiful after Sri Ramakrishna spoke that worldly song. Many of the devotees were in a rapturous mood. There was a deep silence in the room. The younger Naren was absorbed in meditation. He sat like a stump. We are again and again seeing younger Naren always going into Samadhi. Pointing him out to the doctor, Sri Ramakrishna said, a very pure soul, unstinted by the slightest touch of worldliness. Manamohan to the doctor, he pointing into the master. He says of your son, I don't care for the father you have his son. That is his son we have seen, Amrita was a devotee, sadhu. Master smiling. I don't say that I do not want the father. Doctor, yes, I understand you. How can you save your face unless you say few things like that? So, all fun, eh? Doctor thinks it is only formal. Master, your voice quite guileless. One day Shambhu's face became red as he said, God will surely listen to a man's prayer if he prays to him with sincerity. Why am I so fond of the voice? They are like unadulterated milk. Only a little boiling is needed. Moreover, it can be offered to the deity. But milk adulterated with water needs much boiling. It contains a large quantity of fuel. It consumes a large quantity of fuel. So, impure minds require too much effort. The boys are like fresh earthen pots, good vessels in which one can keep milk without any worry. Spiritual instruction arouses their inner consciousness without delay. But it is not so with the worldly minded. One is afraid to keep milk in a pot that has been used for curd. The milk may turn sour. Hmm. Your boy is still free from worldliness, untouched by woman and God, doctor. That is because he is living on his father's earnings. I should love to see how free he would keep himself from worldliness if he had to earn his own livelihood. Master, yes, that is true. But God is far, far away from the worldly minded. That is true. But God is far away from the worldly minded. For those who have renounced the world, He is in the palm of their hand. To Dr. Sarkar and Dr. Dukodi. Dukari, it is written that Dukari, Dukodi. Kodi was a coin in olden days, Kauri. And Du means two. So sometimes, for the benefit of the children, such names are kept. But renunciation of woman and gold is not meant for you. You may renounce these mentally. That is why I said to the Goswamis, why do you speak renunciation? That will not do for you. You have to attend the daily worship of Sham Sundar. That was Karda. Total renunciation is for sannyasis. They must not look even at the picture of a woman. To them, a woman is poison. They must keep themselves at least 10 cubits away from her. And if that is not possible, at least 1 cubit. Cubit is half the hand, 1.5 feet. And they must not talk much with a woman, no matter how devout she may be. Further, they should choose their dwelling at a place where they will never or scarcely ever see the face of a woman. So this is all the beginner sannyasis. Money too is like a poison to a sannyasi. If he keeps money with him, he has worries, pride, anger, and the desire for physical comforts. Money inflames his rajas, which brings tamas in its train. So restlessness ends in opaqueness, inertia. Therefore, a sannyasi must not touch gold. Woman and gold makes him forget God. We have seen this again and again. For householders, money is a means of getting food, clothes, and a dwelling place. Worshipping the deity and serving holy men and devotees. This is the purpose of money. It is useless to try to hoard money. With great labor, the bees build a hive, but a man breaks it and takes the honey away. Doctor, whom shall we hoard for? For a wicked son, perhaps? So doctor has got that idea. Master, it is not a wicked son alone. Perhaps the wife is unchaste. She may have a secret lover. Perhaps she will give him your watch and chain. In the world, you should not renounce woman completely. It is not harmful for a householder to live with his wife, but after the birth of one or two children, husband and wife should live as brother and sister. That is very special blessing of Thakur, resulted in many lives transformed. It is attachment to woman and God that begets pride of learning, pride of money, and pride of social position. So you may have money, you may have learning, you may have social position, but if you are not attached to enjoyment, it will not be an attachment for you. One cannot attain divine knowledge till one gets rid of pride. Water does not stay on the top of a mount, but into lowland it flows in torrents from all sides. Doctor, but the water that flows into the lowland from all sides contains good water and bad water. He finds something in everything. Muddy water and ditch water. Again, there are hollows on mountain tops as well, as at Nainital and Mansarovar. There, these contain only pure water from the sky. So something in the analogy he finds. Master, only pure water from the sky, that is good. So, valid points Thakur picks up. Doctor, further from an elevated place, the water can be distributed on all sides. Master smiling. A certain man came to possess a Siddha mantra. He then went to the top of the hill and cried aloud, repeat this mantra and you will realize God. Thakur takes a spiritual lesson out of that example. Doctor, yes. Master, but you must remember one thing. When his soul feels restless for God, a man forgets the difference between good water and ditch water. In order to know God, he sometimes goes to good men, sometimes to imperfect men. Dirty water cannot endure an aspirant if God's grace descends on it. So Thakur has nullified all his counter arguments. When God grants him knowledge, he reveals to the aspirant what is good and what is bad. So, God, love, surrender, solve the problem with whatever outside conditions. There may be hollows on the top of a hill, but they cannot exist on the hill of wicked ego. So within that, Thakur filters out. I think Thakur's talk with doctor is lot of revealing. Analogy, the doctor takes it literally. From that, Thakur again shows the reality. Wonderful conversation. Only if it is an ego of knowledge or an ego of bhakti does the pure water from the sky collect these. So from that, he has refined. It is true that the water from a hilltop may flow in all directions. Every point Thakur is making it spiritually, every point. But that is possible only from the heel of the ego of knowledge. One cannot teach men without the command of God. After attaining knowledge, Shankaracharya retained the ego of knowledge in order to teach mankind. But to lecture without realizing God, what good will it that do? This Thakur does not accept at all. I went to the Nandan Bagan Brahma Samaj. After the worship, the preacher gave a lecture from the raised platform. He had written it at home. Thakur has found fault with that. As he read from the manuscript, he looked around while meditating. He opened his eyes from time to time to look at people. So, hypocrisy, not what you really are, Thakur exposes immediately. The instruction of a man who has not seen God does not produce the right effect. He may say one thing rightly, but he becomes confused about the next. Samadhi delivered a lecture, one of the preachers. He said, God is beyond words and mind, he is dry. Worship him through the bliss of your love and devotion. Yes, see, he thus described God, whose very nature is joy and bliss. What will such a lecture accomplish? Can it teach people anything? Such a lecture is like a man who said, my uncle's cowshed is full of horses. Horses in the cowshed, Allah. From that you can understand that there are no horses at all. Doctor smiling. Nor cows either. Allah, because horses in the cowsheds. In the meantime, the devotees who had been to a rapturous state had regained their normal mood. The doctor was highly pleased with them and asked M about them. M introduced to him Paltu, the younger Naren, Bhupati, Sharad, Shashi, and the other youngsters. About Shashi, M said, he is going to appear for the BA examination. The doctor was a little inattentive. Master to the doctor, look here, listen to what he is saying. The doctor heard from him about Shashi. Master to the doctor pointing to him. He instructs the schoolboys. Doctor, so I have heard. He instructs the schoolboys about God. Master, I am unlettered and yet educated people come here. How amazing. You must admit that it is the play of God. Incarnation he does not accept now. It was 9 o'clock in the evening. The doctor had been sitting there since 6 o'clock, watching all these things. Girish to the doctor. Well, sir, does it ever happen to you that though you do not intend to come here, you are drawn as if by a subtle force? I feel that way. That is why I am asking you. Doctor, I don't know whether I feel that. But the heart alone knows the promptings of the heart. I cannot express it. To Sri Ramakrishna, besides, there isn't much use in speaking about it. Why you are speaking yesterday? October 24, 1883. Shall we read? Yes. It was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Sri Ramakrishna was seated on the second floor of the house at Shampur. Dr. Sarkar, Narendra, Mahimachar and M and other devotees were in the room. Referring to the homeopathic system of medicine, the doctor said to Dr. Sarkar, this treatment of yours is very good. Doctor, According to homeopathy, the physician has to check up the symptoms of the disease with the medical book. It is like Western music. The singer follows the score. Western music, they write all the notes in symbols and that is kept in front and then he looks and where is Girish goes? Never mind. Don't trouble him. He didn't sleep last night. Master, well, when I am in Samadhi, I feel intoxicated as if I were drunk with Siddhi. What have you to say about that? Doctor, to him. In that state, the nerve centers cease to function. Hence, the limbs become numb. Again, the legs tougher because all the energy rushes toward the brain. Life consists of the nervous system. There is a nerve center in the nape of the neck called medulla oblongata. If that is injured, one may die. So all he reduces to the physiological. Mahima Chakravarti began to describe the Kundalini. He said, the Sushumna nerve runs through the spinal cord in a subtle form. None can see it. That is what Shiva says. None can see it in the gross form. Dr. Shiva examined man only in the maturity. But the Europeans have examined man in all stages of his life, from the embryo to maturity. It is good to know comparative history. From the history of the Santals, one learns that Kali was a Santal. Santal is the aboriginal districts within Bengal, the hill tribes and forest tribes. He was a valiant fighter, Allah, because of his funny description of the Divine Mother. They are all dark in color, so Kali is liking that color. Don't laugh, please. Let me tell you how greatly the study of comparative anatomy has benefited men. The difference between the actions of the pancreatic juice and bile was at first unknown, but later Cloyd Bernard examined the stomach, liver, and other parts of the rabbit and demonstrated that the action of bile is different from the action of the pancreatic juice. Therefore, it stands to reason that we should watch the lower animals as well. The study of man alone is not enough. So they assume that like that is man's. Similarly, the study of comparative religion is highly beneficial. Why do his meaning master's word go straight into our heart? He has experienced the truths of different religions. He himself has practiced the disciplines of Hindu, Christian, Muslim, Shakta, and Vaishnava religions. The bees can make good honey only if they gather nectar from different flowers. M to Dr. Sarkar. He, pointing to Mahimachal, has studied science a great deal. Doctor smiling. What science? Do you mean Max Muller's science of religion? Dr. Sarkar is a funny man. Mahima to the master. You are ill, but what can the doctor do about it? When I heard of your illness, I thought that you were only going to pamper the doctor's pride. He is going to the other extreme. Master pointing to Dr. Sarkar. But he is a very good physician. He is very learned too. Mahima, yes, sir. He is a ship and we are only small boats. Dr. Sarkar folded his hands in humility. Mahima. But here in the master's presence, all are equal. Shri Ramakrishna asked Narendra to sing. Narendra sang, I have made thee, O Lord, the pole star of my life. No more shall I lose my way on the world's trackless sea. তোমাকেই করিয়াছি জীবনের ধ্রুব তারা. Then he sang, ever insane with pride am I, and many the cravings of my heart. He sang again, this universe, wondrous and infinite, O Lord, is the handiwork, and the whole world is a treasure house full of thy beauty and grace. Narendra continued. Oh, these only two lines are given. O Father of the universe, upon thy lofty throne, thou dost enjoy the music of the world. As thy creations praise, they sweetly sing. Behold, I too, though born of earth, have come with feeble voice before the portal of thy house. I seek alone thy vision, Lord, I crave no other boon. Here I have come to sing my song for thee. From a far corner of the mighty throng, where sun and moon are hymning thee, I too would sing thy praise, hymning. This is thy lowly servant's prayer. He sang a devotional song. He sang another song, O King of Kings, reveal thyself to me. I crave thy mercy. Cast on me thy glance. At thy feet, dear feet, I dedicate my life. Seared in the fiery furnace of this world, my heart, alas, is deeply stained with sin. Ensnared in Maya, I am all but dead. Compassionate Lord, revive my fainting and with the life-giving nectar of thy grace. Revive my fainting. Okay. Again, be drunk, O mind, be drunk with the wine of heavenly bliss. Roll on the ground and weep, chanting Hari's sweet name. So Narendra has become a devotee fully now, master. And sing that one, all that exists as thou. Sufi song. Dr. Narendra sang. I joined my heart to thee, all that exists as thou. Thee only have I found, for thou art all that exists. Only two lines are given here. The singing was over. Dr. Sarkar sat there almost spellbound. After a time, with folded hands, he said very humbly to Sri Ramakrishna, allow me to take my leave now. I shall come again tomorrow, Master. Oh, stay a little. Girish Ghosh has been sent for, pointing to Mahima. He is a scholar, yet he dances in the name of Hari. He has no pride. He went to Konnagar just because we were there. He is wealthy, he is free, he serves nobody. Pointing to Narendra. What do you think of him? Doctor, excellent. Master pointing to a devotee, and him, Doctor, splendid. Maybe Master Masha? Mahima, it can by no means be said that one knows philosophy unless one has read Hindu philosophy. The European philosophers do not know the 24 cosmic principles of the Sankhya philosophy. They cannot even grasp them. Their dharana is weak. Master, smiling. What are the three paths you speak of? I think we stop here. Tomorrow is 15th August, holiday. So we'll resume on Tuesday. Om Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम तत्सत्। श्री रामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।